Good morning, Year 4, and here is your maths lesson for Thursday, the 14th of January. You did really well with the rounding and compensating yesterday, so I know that you're not going to find today's lesson too much of a problem. Today, we're going to be subtracting 4-digit numbers from 4-digit numbers, so that's the only difference, and we're still going to round to the nearest number, this time the nearest 1,000 because it's a 4-digit number, and we're then going to do some more compensating. I'm pretty sure you're going to be brilliant at this. Okay, starting us off then today. What number have I made? And again, I'm pretty sure I can get these done quickly with you now. There are 2 in the thousands, 4 in the hundreds, 5 in the tens, and nothing in the ones. So if I pop my comma in, the number is 2,450. Again, if you can think of a fact that you know about this number and another, that's brilliant. Okay, from my number 2,450, which I've now popped in this yellow box over here, we are going to be trying to subtract 1,999 from this number. What would happen when we did? Now, if we're looking at those columns, I do have enough thousands to be able to do that at the moment, but I don't have enough hundreds, and I don't have enough tens, and I don't have enough ones, so it'd be quite tricky as we go across. But from yesterday, we learnt about rounding and then compensating back, and I think there is an easier way of doing this. Instead of subtracting 1,999, could we subtract 2,000 instead? Wouldn't it be easier to just subtract 2,000? And then we just need to compensate backwards. So we'd need to add 1 back on. So let's have a go at that instead then. So subtract 2,000 from my thousands column. And because I've taken away 2,000 and I should only have taken away 1,999, I need to add 1 back on. Definitely much quicker. So I now count up which ones I have in each column. I have 1 1, still 5 tens, still 4 hundreds, but I now have 0 thousands. So you could write the answer as 0,451, or we could simply delete that part and the answer is 451. Excellent. Okay, quite simple, and it helps from our lesson yesterday. So let's have a go at another one. What number have I got this time? And I hope you're all shouting at me that you've got 5 in the thousands, 6 in the hundreds, 1 in the tens, and 0 in the ones. So we've got 5,610. And again, if you can tell me some facts, you can write them down, you can think about them in your head, that would be brilliant. Okay, from 5, oh, Miss Fowler's made a mistake over here because this number here should not be a 6, it should be a 5. Well done if you spotted that. So what number have I made? We've got 5,610, and just checking it's right in both places, and it's right in my yellow box now. And this question is asking us to subtract 2,999. Again, that would be very tricky using counters because we'd have to exchange all the way across from the thousands, then the hundreds, then the tens into the ones. Is there an easier way? And yes, there is. Wouldn't it be easier to round to the nearest 1,000 and then add 1? So instead of 2,999, I'm going to round that to 3,000. It's going to make my number a lot easier today. And then we add the 1 back on because if I've taken away 3,000, I've done a little bit too much, so I need to take that 1 back off. So over here, I can take away 3,000. Much simpler. And then because I've taken away that 3,000, I've got to add the 1 back on. Okay, so now I can count up in each column. I've got 1 1, 110, 600 still, but this time 3,000s. So I've got 3,611. Excellent, hopefully you're seeing those patterns. Okay, what does it look like on a number line, I hear you ask? This time we've got 7,540, take away 2,998, and just like yesterday, I've thrown in a pesky 8. So it says here, are you going to jump forwards or backwards? We know it's going to be backwards. What's going to be easier? So I'm going to get rid of that box so it's not in my way, and I'm going to start with putting 7,540 on my number line. But I'm looking at this number 2,998 and I'm thinking I can definitely do an easier number. So I'm going to round that to the nearest thousand. Now it's not got a 999, but it's 998, so it's still very close. So I'm going to be rounding that to 3,000. But I'm remembering that it's come from 8, and that will help me in a minute. So I'm going to be taking away 3,000, and I can do that in 3 jumps to 3 jumps of 1,000 each. So I'm taking away 3,000. And again, from my thousands column, 7 take away 3, 4,540. Excellent. So that would be my answer. Lovely. Well done if you're saying no, because we have to compensate. We have to jump back a little bit because we took away too many. And the difference between 8 and our 0 or our 10 is we've got to add 2 back on. So this is where it's different if it's an 8. So our answer would be 4,542. Brilliant. Okay, let's do another one. 4,100 take away 1,999. So I can move that writing out of the way because we know we always start on the right hand side when we're subtracting. We've got 4,100 and we are subtracting 1,999. Again, not the easiest number, so I'm going to make it an easier number. And I'm going to change it to 2,000. And then I can do 2 jumps back of 1,000 each and take away 2,000. So quite simply, when I'm looking at my 4,100 down here, looking at my 1,000 column, the number will change to 2,100. Then, hopefully you're saying it before I'm doing it, we had to change this number. We took away too many, so we need to add 1 back on. So I'm just going to add the 1 I took off. So if you had the answer or you were thinking in your head or saying it out loud, 2,101, well done. Okay, bar model, how is it shown? Exactly the same as yesterday. Your 8,200 is at the top and we're wondering what goes into that number. So we know at the moment they've told us that 1,999 go into that number. If we imagine for now that it's a little bit bigger at 2,000, we can work out what else goes into it. So we do our 8,200 take away our 2,000, which would be 6,200. And because I've taken away too many, I need to add that 1 back on. So I would end up with a 1, 6,201. Okay. Your turn then. Can you please have a go at these questions in the top of your book? I would really recommend doing like I have and crossing them out. And again, using that number line so you really know which way you're going. Good luck. Off you go. Okay, well done for having a go at those. Let's go through some of these answers then. Question number 1 says 7,450. And we're going to be taking away 1,999. So I've got 7,450 on my number line, and I'm doing a jump, not of 1,999, but of 2,000. 7 take away 2 is 5, so I've got my 5,450. But then because we because we took away too many, I need to add that 1 back on. So if you've got the answer 5,451, give yourselves a tick. Okay, next one. 7,250 this time. And this time we're going to be doing a jump or taking away 2,999. Again, I'm not going to write that on the top because I'm not doing 2,999. That's a really hard number. So I'm going to round it to 3,000. And I'm going to take away 3,000 here instead because it's an easier number to be working with. And apologies that that looks like a 7. There you go. So from my 7, take away 3 gives me 4. And I've still got my 250. Okay, 4,250 correct answer? Not quite, because we've taken away too many. We've taken away 3,000. We only needed to take away 2,999. We need to add that one back on. And if you remembered that, you'd have got the right answer of 4,251. Again, give yourselves a tick if you got that one correct. Okay, going to move down slightly for the last two questions. Something is equal to 3,000. Oh, I don't want that in purple for now. I'm going to say that again. Something is equal to 3,802. And we are taking away 1,998. Now, again, that's not an easy number to work with. I'm going to be rounding that, and I'm going to round it to the nearest 1,000, which is 2,000. But I'm remembering it's an 8. That's important for in a minute. So we're going to be taking away our 2,000. So 3,000 something, take away 2,000 is 1,000, and I've still got my 802. But this time, remember, it asked us to take away 1,998. This time, when we add that back on and we compensate, we are adding 2 back on. So give yourselves a tick and well done if you had the answer of 1,804. Brilliant. Okay, next one and final one. Something is equal to 9,101. Take away 3,998. Again, I'm not going to be working with a number like that. I'm going to be rounding it. So I'll round it to the nearest 1,000, which is 4,000. Again, it's got an 8 on the end. So I'll remember that in a moment because I'm compensating by 2 and not just by 1. And I'm going to be subtracting 4,000. When I subtract 4,000 from my 9,000, it leaves me with 5,000. And I still have my 101. But just remember, I've got to add and compensate my 2 back on. So if you got the correct answer of 5,103, give yourselves a tick. Well done. Okay. Problem then today. Emmett thinks that 4,520 take away 3,999 is 8,521. And he says because he knows that 5,221 take away 4,000 is 4,521. Then subtract 1. Is he following the steps of success? Has he done the right thing? I think that number there should be a 0. So that's my error and not Emmett's. But 4,550, he's taken away 4,000. And that would have given him his 4,520 because he'd taken away his 4,000. I think Miss Fowler made an error with this one as well, but hopefully you'll see that the problem I was trying to show is that he has successfully rounded, but he hasn't, or I didn't get those numbers correct. So I'm just going to skip that one for now. You'll have a go when you come down to your cocoa problem in a minute. But your activities today, you start with your do it. So 5 of those questions. Again, I really recommend that you cross them out and write the rounded number above, and then just remember what to compensate afterwards. Then your go deep is a cocoa, and I know hers is correct. It's correctly worded. She's incorrect. Hopefully you'll be able to explain why. And then your go deeper today. It's about differences between numbers. So the difference between 2 numbers is a 3. Sorry, I'm going to try that again. The difference between 2 4-digit numbers is a 3-digit number. So it's saying what 4-digit number, take away another 4-digit number, is a 3-digit number. So think about the ones that we've already worked on through the lesson, where it ends up like that example there, it ended up a 3-digit number. Okay, it then says solve it in several ways. And then how many ways can the problem be solved using only 8 and 9 as the missing digits? Good luck with those. Apologies for the few mistakes that I've made, but you are doing much better than I am from the work I can see that you've sent in. When you've finished, well, you can pause me in a minute, and when you finish, you can come back and we'll do our learning pit together. Excellent. Okay, well done for coming back. Hopefully you are further out of the learning pit than Miss Fowler was in this lesson, and I look forward to seeing your work later. Thanks very much. Bye for now.